Hey, coin folk, welcome back. Got a ANACS submission here we received in the mail earlier today. If you haven't watched, there's a video back there somewhere you can go back to. It's kind of a preview of a couple different submissions I had to PCGS and this one to ANACS, if you want to check that out. Got a little cheat sheet here, a copy of what I had submitted, and then I wrote down some grades that I was doing my best with. I don't know. We'll see how good we did on them. But anyways, I'll save you the pain of watching me open this up because I've never opened one of these up before from ANACS, so I don't know what I'm going to be looking at. So let me pause this real quick, get it opened up, and get to the point where we're actually ready to look at some coins, and I'll be back. Alright, so that wasn't too awful bad. It was just a box inside a box. Haven't actually opened this one up yet, but I assume it's pretty straightforward. The invoice and everything was in the other box. I didn't look at the grades. I did open an email from them letting me know that my package is shipped. And like I said, first submission ANACS, so I didn't realize they had some information in there. All I know is I caught one word and then I immediately closed the email. And that word wasn't necessarily a word I liked. It was damaged. But I know there is a couple, especially the older coins. I think that the half cent we had a pretty good shot at coming back damaged. I don't know. There was a lot of this was just some cheaper stuff that we were looking at. So we'll go in reverse order here so we don't see off rip what we're looking at. So this would be, looks like they're in reverse order of what's on the sheet. So this would be a DDO number 11 we were hoping for on this. 2019. Came back at 65 and only gets a 63, so that's good. DDO number 1. Well, I guess I don't know. I'll have to go back and look because I don't know if they use Variety Vista, if they use ANACS, they are ANACS. If they use Variety Vista or Wexer's site. So I guess, or maybe it's just not the double die I thought it was. I don't know. Either way, came back a little better grade than we thought. So that's not a loss. Next one should be 1925S. This is, we're hoping for FS501. Details. I wasn't too far off on it. I guess good 6, and they gave it a very good 8. It is FS501, which is RPM. I'm sure it's going to be impossible to pick up on here. I mean, it's hard enough to pick up in person, so. Not bad, though. A little better grade than I thought. Just unfortunately clean. Next one should be. This was a bicentennial $50 with struck through reading here on the reverse. At least I'm hoping that's what it comes back designated as. I put it down like AU/BU kind of slider ish area, so I covered all my bases there. So who knows what it is. Came back 62, so that's good. And we did get the struck through reading fragment, so that is pretty sweet. I wasn't quite sure if it would get the mistake grade or not. I mean, you could definitely tell it's been around the block a couple times, but apparently not quite enough to knock it down into the AU range, so we will gladly take that. More than anything, this was about getting, that struck through properly attributed so you could actually prove that it is what we thought it was. So that's pretty cool. I will have to update the live coin Q&A. We had that one on the show, and they the ones that helped me confirm that it was what I thought it was. This next one should be 64D FS105. I put it down as a 64 if it's straight grades. It has a nasty little hit on the front. Right on the kind of his cheek there. Oh, I guess I'm already showing it. AU58. Ah, dang. I was hoping we'd be in that mid-state range. I don't know. To me, this one looks like it's in better shape than that Bicentennial, but I don't know. I guess I have much to learn. Did at least get the FS501, which is a quadruple die obverse. It is pretty crazy. Let me pause it here for a second just to show you. I'll throw this one under the scope just because it's so cool looking. But give me just a second. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back here. We got it under the scope. I mean, you can see the crazy, like, they say it's quadruple, but I really see like 3, but I mean, there's plenty of people out there that are smarter than me. You can see all the different kind of serifs at the bottom of the letters here, and the T and R, and then up here in the E is real easy to see. Top of the W, top of the U, pretty much anywhere there's an edge to anything, it's pretty crazy looking. But definitely a cool find. And this came out of just a junk 90 pickup, so I can't complain too much about that, even though it didn't quite grade as high as I thought it would. Kind of bummed about that. And this is, like I said, where I was talking about, it's got some pretty good marks on the neck, so maybe that's just kind of what knocked it down. But anyway, still a very cool find. So let me get you kind of zoomed back out and set back up, and we'll jump into the next one. Alright, give me a sec. Alright, so we're back here. The next one is another 64D FS101. This one was found coin roll hunting. It's a double die obverse. This is another one I wrote down in the AUB range, so I don't know. Apparently, I don't know how to grade Kennedy, so I keep messing up. I forget they got the grades in both spots. Another AU, so we were in that right range, anyways. This one isn't quite as crazy on the doubling, so I'm not won't stop you and bring you in and bore you with my ramblings about this doubling, but it's on there if you want to look it up. Next one, we got 1961 proof quarter. We were looking to get the FS101 designation, which is a double die obverse, I believe. We were hoping for, I put down proof 65. I have no idea how to grade proofs though, so hey, look at that. Maybe at the very least, I'm a good guesser. It is the FS101 and it weighs 65. It's nothing of extreme value on this one. It's a little more common, but still a cool find. Makes it worth a little more than a typical 61 proof. So, speaking of 61 proofs, our next one is... This one does have a little more value to it, at least according to certain price guides. I don't know. I couldn't find a whole lot of sales comps on it. I actually wanted to send this one to PCGS. This was a confusing one to me. They have it in their price guide, but then when I want to try to pull it up as one of their coins to have submitted, it didn't pull up as, like, each one of their coins has a coin identification number or whatever the heck it is. And I couldn't find it in there, so I ended up submitting it to ANACS. But I wrote down, I was hoping for a proof 66. It's FS801. If you want to look it up, it's got some tripling down in the United States down here on the bottom, and I think some in 5 cents, maybe even some up in E pluribus unum on top. I can't really remember. But there's also a ton of varieties on the proof nickel for this year, so might not even get the designation that I'm thinking. But we did get a 67, which is a little higher than I thought. FS801 is what we're looking for, and we got it. Sweet. far as I know, this is a tougher variety. It's if you know anything about it, feel free to chime in. Let us know what we're looking at exactly. But I believe, let me see if I can get under the light a little better here. I guess it may be a little better, but kind of hard to show off exactly. But I mean, I'll never be able to get the actual doubling to show up. But next we are on to 1953S. 10-cent piece. Oh, this one I bought off of Coins, Ghouls, or Adam from a live coin Q&A. Bought off of him from Whatnot. Check him out over there. He's got some pretty good sales he does. This was a new cherry pickers variety on the Roosevelt dime here is FS, where we at 401, which is like the little Bugs Bunny variety. Supposedly ANACS was attributing these, so we'll see. Got a 65, which is, how about that? It's the exact grade I wrote down on it. Probably because Adam told me that's what it was. He's a much better grader than I am. And we got the FS401, Bugs Bunny. Pretty sweet. Don't know how many of these are actually being attributed quite yet. I believe this was just added in the newest Cherry Pickers guide, so thank you, Adam. Happy to have it. We're going to jump into the next one, which should be a 2009 FS802. So this is a Philadelphia version, I guess, reverse mounted. Even though I don't really remember asking for it, but I guess it makes sense. Being a 2009. I wrote down we were hoping for 64, 65. So let's see. Got a 65 and FS802. So pretty much right in the wheelhouse of what we were looking for on that one. Lots of double dies on that reverse there, but just a few that are actually attributed to cherry pickers. Alright, so the next two I've written down as a VG8 and an F12. They're both 1878 8-tail feather Morgan dollars. The main reason I sent them to is because I was through with trying to figure out which VAMs they were. Pretty certain they weren't any of the expensive ones, but so I sent them in as kind of a test and to kind of see what the process was like for them to do the VAM research for you, because it's literally only a couple more dollars than actually doing all the research on your own and then just asking for the exact attribution that you're looking for. But like I said, we'll see. So this one was the 10, or this one came back at 10, so I'm assuming this is the one that I had marked 12. So I might have missed on a grade there. VAM 142B, whatever that VAM is. Well, I'll have to look these up. Like I said, this is more of a kind of a test of the process. Plus, I mean, the 8-tail feather is just a slightly better 78, so it was worth kind of, to me anyways, worth getting them looked at, see what we got. So, this one actually came back fine 12, so maybe my 8 bumped up to a 10 and my 12 stayed with 12, but unfortunately it is clean. And it actually is a Hot 50 VAM, VAM 8. I don't know that it's an expensive VAM, but it is a VAM at least that's on the Hot 50 list. So I'll have to check that out a little bit, see what that might be about. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's not one of the more rare, super expensive. If you don't know a whole lot about VAMs on the 1878, the 8-tail feather reverse, there's quite a few pretty crazy VAMs on that. So this next one is my heartbreak coin, the 83S. You can see it even worse under this light. That it has definitely been cleaned at some point, which is just a bummer. I spent so much money on this coin, it's sickening. Dang, and I only even got AU53 details. Main reason I sent it in is because I wanted to get the details grade, or get the numeric grade on top of the details, but I thought it would be even higher than that, but it's not. This was in a segs holder, which I've learned since. Trust me, I've learned that is not a holder you want to put a whole lot of faith in. This is an MS64. Needless to say, somebody lost a boatload of money on this coin, but it does have some cool color on it. Unfortunately cleaned. Unfortunately, a much lower grade than I thought it would come back as. But we live and we learn, and we lose lots of money in the process, I guess. Next one we have is 1921 Morgan, Philly Morgan. I think I just sent this one in because I thought it would come back in a decent grade. I think I wrote it down as 64. We'll see how my grading skills are here. I guess we already saw a little bit. It's 63. Not quite as good as I thought. This is kind of close, but I thought it'd come back 4, but I don't know. Still not a terrible coin. We're slabbed up at least. It's protected if nothing else. Next, we have 2 1887 Philly Morgans. I think I had them written down. One is a 2, one is a 3 coming back. Nothing crazy on either of them. Just what I'm hoping anyways. A nice mint state grade. Did get a 63 on the one. A little bit of color on it. Around the edge. Kind of cool. Just didn't want them sitting around and getting banged up, and I don't know, a little more sellable this way. So if this is a 2, then we did right, and it is a 2. So maybe I'm getting a little bit better on grading this stuff. Not quite as much color on this one. A little more contact on it. Out in the field and cheek, kind of all over really, but still thought it was solid enough for a 2. And that's what we got. So next one, this is a Morgan, another 21 Morgan. I bought this one off of Michael Kittle Rare Coins. Got it in the AUB range. It wouldn't shock me if it maybe came back with some details, but it's see if we can get it to show up here. Let me try to zoom a little bit without knocking the camera over. It's got a planter flaw up here right next to the E and E pluribus unum. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but I'm thinking it was a lamination. I don't really know what kind of designation they'll put on stuff. I don't know. I guess I should maybe block my realtor's card sitting over there. Trying to sell the house. Had to get all the collection out of the house. This will have to be shipped over to join the rest of the family over there. But let's see what we got. Did come back at AU58. And it did come back as a lamination. So that is pretty awesome. Not necessarily the most common thing to find. So thank you, Michael Kittle, for making that available. Next one we have 34D piece dollar. We were shooting for VAM 3. Well, it is VAM 3. I don't know if they gave it to me or not, but it's VAM 3. Trust me. I'm a little better with piece dollars than I am with Morgans, at least as far as the VAM stuff. But it does have double rays on the obverse, and then your D mint mark over here. There's kind of the biggest designation between whether it's a VAM 3 or 4, I think it is. This is definitely the cheaper one. Is your mint mark. This one, even though it's tiny, it's a little bit bigger than the more rare. So this came back at 53. VAM 9. This is not VAM 9. Oh, because I'm looking at a whole different coin. Okay, I guess they were. Oh no, I got out of order. So it is 28S. It's still not the VAM that I had written down. I had it written down as VAM 3, which is a double motto. I did have it written down as 53, which is what it came back as. Shockingly enough. I can't say that I know exactly what VAM 9 is, but VAM 3 is a doubled motto. So you see most of the doubling in Trust, and then some over on In God We as well. But I guess I'll have to look up, see what VAM 9 is, and see if I agree or not. So then the next one is a 34D with the mint mark that I thought we were looking at a few seconds ago over here. If it was a little bit higher and a little bit smaller, it would be a better VAM. This one is VAM 3. I think the other is VAM 4. The obverse is the same, but just a different reverse on it. And this one I had written down as possibly clean. I don't know. If not, we're hoping for a low mint state. But I'm pretty sure it's clean. And even if it's not clean, that's not mint state. I don't even know what I was thinking. But I'm almost certain it's clean. And it is AU58 details. Cleaned. It is VAM 3A. Doubling is in the rays. I get it to zoom in a little bit for us here. You can kind of see mainly in the back two rays and the headdress here. You can see it's pretty well doubled there. So not quite as good as we was hoping for, but I knew we definitely had the chance to come back clean. And looking at it under the light that I'm currently looking at, I probably get to even guess that a little bit better. But anyways, on the next one, we got an 1883 V nickel. I don't know. I wrote down as XF40, but I'm thinking it's probably clean now that I'm looking at it again. But I don't know these coins very well. Just something I wanted to get to have protected, put in a collection. And we did get the AU50, so it's actually better than I thought. Not too shabby. Wish my light was a little better here, but I'm doing the best I can, folks. Maybe I'll have to buy light before I do the next submission review here. Next one here, we got an 1844 1 cent piece. I wrote down as a good 6. Who knows what we might get? Maybe this is a damaged one, because that might be a scratch. Right underneath the, kind of coming off the E. Like I said, I know I saw damage on something. Fine 12. So this is not the one that got damaged. And it came back graded better than I thought. Like I said, had it written down as a good 6. Came back as a fine 12. This is another one that was more about just getting an example for my collection without spending a ton of money. So maybe this is the damaged one, I'm guessing. It's got a pretty good little ding up above the A there. It's a half cent. Another one I just need to get it something just to have. I wrote it down as a VF20. No idea if I'm even in the ballpark on grades on these, obviously. This is details. We did get to 20. And it was the one that was damaged, unfortunately. I'm assuming that it's that mark that we saw in the reverse. They don't necessarily give you a whole lot of information on what it is, but assuming that's what we're looking at. But still, it's nice to have. Only half cent I own, so now we got it somewhere to be a little better protected. And lastly, we have a 1919 San Francisco wheat cent. I wrote down that we are hoping to get up to AU50 on it. I have no idea. Don't do a ton with the wheat cents or Lincoln cents in general, but we'll see what we get. Let you take a look at it for a second, and we did. Oh, we got an AU55, which is a little better than I thought. So that's not bad. These are tough to grade for me. The cents are. I don't know. I don't spend as much time with them just because it's not necessarily my wheelhouse of collecting, but just a better date. Not a key by any means, but just a better date and a little better grade. And it's better than having it just sitting around. So now we got it slobbed up. Got a nice example. So that's that for the first ANACS submission. Overall, I can't be too mad. I do like the way the holder is set up to where you could like kind of see the stuff. Like right on top here. I do not like the the label style itself, and the holder doesn't necessarily feel the best, but at least you can see right off rip. You can see how many we failed on here. Details, 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 details. I don't know. We knew we were going to have some details, and we did, but we also had some that came back better than we thought, so can't complain too much. There's a few I'll have to go look at to see. Starting with this one, different DDO than I had written down, but I for the most part, to this point, I have no reason to distrust their opinions on stuff. So they're definitely probably more knowledgeable than myself. So we'll jump in. We're gonna take a look at some of these, and if I see anything glaring, I'll come back. But more than likely, I'm the one that screwed up, and ANACS did just fine. But anyways, we got our two PCGS submissions. Both should be back fairly quickly. One, last I checked, I think yesterday, the one was in encapsulation, and then the one was actually in the step after that, QA, so it should be shipping out within the next few days. So we'll have a couple more submissions to look at, and I will see you when they get here. All right, folks. Later.